Dev do the honors and
Go for it, man.
talk about that fairy tale at Edolos chapter 66, which could be found in Sorcerer Weekly or Manga Dex or any fucking aggregate manga site that takes it from either of those two sites because they cheap bastard.
Do I have to?
Yes.
All right.
Well, I mean, we should do a podcast where we're just reviewing the butthole anime.
I mean,
That'd be fun.
I'd be down. I'll
Just like a 30-minute, 45-minute podcast, just us talking about it. But that's a tangent. I'm sorry. Yeah, go ahead and start talking about the chapter.
So, Fairy Tale 100 Years Quest, chapter 66 at Edolos. The cover photo is Nasha and Greg. Shit name, that guy.
Greige.
I think it was Greige or something like that.
Because it's beige and gray. So gray.
So gray, beige, greige.
Now his name
What a
sounds
stupid
more
name.
shit. Yeah. Oh god. All right, Greige.
Don't be rude to the kid. It's not his fault. His dad's
Sounds like
a
a him problem.
dumbass.
Sounds like a him problem. Even across dimensions and generations, the bonds of friendships are connected. It's a nice little cover. I'm not gonna lie. It looks cute. I do like the two kids, but the name Greige is stupid. So on to the chapter.
I like how you said Greige is stupid, but not Nasha.
Nasha's cute.
I mean, I was saying the name is stupid, and therefore whoever gave him the name is stupid. The kid's not stupid. Actually, the two kids, like I'll get into it more later, but the two kids seem okay.
Dude, I love this chapter. I'm sorry. Go on.
Oh, if you love it, go for it.
No. You're going because I'm eating.
This fucking guy. All right, so the alternate world, Edolos world, that's a lot like Earthen, but where we live, but it's also not. So if you guys remember back when Edolos came around, magic isn't plentiful in Edolos like it is in Earthland. In fact, Edolos was suffering from a shortage of magic. All of it led to a huge incident, but in the end, it was resolved by getting rid of all the magic in Edolos. So basically, they're magicless. Haha. And they all carry on with their lives as normal. So it starts with the chapter with the two Lucys talking to each other, and Edo Lucy giving our Lucy a outfit which is spicy, and obviously our Lucy, huh?
It's her old outfit that Edola's Lucy used to use when we first saw her. And
in fact, Edo Lucy makes a comment of that. It's like, just like when I was younger. Now, remember, guys, these guys they never had the time freeze or the situation that we had. So they are, 7, 8 years ahead? Technically? 9 years
They'd be
ahead?
7, right? Because like all the other times would have been taken into account, but it was the 7 specific Tenro years.
Well, remember, 2 years have passed since Tenro, and they were stuck in Tenro for 7 years. So 7 plus 2 is 9. Therefore, it's been 9 years.
No, yeah, but the fairy tale people also got older during those 2 years since.
So it would only be a
Tenro,
7 year
so
difference.
it's only
overall.
a 7-year difference.
Yeah, well, they're talking to Team Natsu, which they haven't seen for 9 years.
Yeah, they haven't seen it for 9 years, but they're only biologically 7 years older, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, okay. That's fine.
So they haven't seen him for 9 years, 7 year difference. So, a lot has changed. It seems like Edo Lucy's not as skimpy as she was. She does have a kid. Our Lucy doesn't really like the outfit, but beggars can't be choosers, as she says. And nice little exchange happens where our Lucy asks, "So what happened with you and Natsu?" Well, we were alone in a car, and he came and came onto me strong. And
it means they did the thing. In the car.
It means he put the keys in her ignition.
No. There's no keys. He put his penis inside her vagina.
God damn it! All right, boys, we're getting taken down. Yes, that's basically the birds. All right, kids, time for the birds and the bees talk. When mommy and dad eating anyway. She then says, "You don't have that kind of relationship with Natsu," to our Lucy, and our Lucy freaks the fuck out. But, don't worry, one day, guys.
She was like, "Whoa there." I don't know what you're talking about.
We
even
ain't
though
canon
Natsu,
yet.
even though Natsu's seen her naked like every other fucking day.
Definitely.
And if you remember when Lucy said she was naked when they first got to Edelos, Natsu literally went, "Ooh, let me see." Just saying.
So continuing on, she has a little freak out. Nasha goes up. There's two papas because obviously Nasha recognizes both Natsus. And our Natsu being the idiot that he is, hey, can she breathe fire and stuff? Come on now, Natsu. We know there's no magic here. You know there's no magic here, you idiot. But he's actually quite excited to see her, and it actually gives me an idea of what he might be like if he ever has his kid. Grey's asks Al Grey, where's your clothes? I'm not really surprised. And mentioned that if Gray's son and Juvia's son had a child, I wonder if the child would be like him. Basically, would the child strip a lot? Hope not. And there is a nice little interaction between Nasha and Grage. Grage looks at Nasha. Nasha notices that Nasha gives a cute little wave, and Grage gets a little bit embarrassed and flustered by it. So he is very shy, while she is very outspoken by the looks of it. We have the typical our Grey and Natsu having a little.
I love this because Natsu was like, "Bitch, why you're still looking at my daughter? The fuck is he doing?" And Gray being like, "Why you scared about kid, bitch?" Oh, dude, I'm not a shipper, but I love. I'm not. I don't care. I like Nalu. I think their chemistry is nice, but I just love how protective Natsu is of his daughter. Not daughter.
It's not even his daughter, though. That's the funny part. Like, they're not even their kids, and they're super protective of them.
Oh yes, but
yeah.
no, because remember they're Edolas versions, so basically them, but a different world. So I don't know. Oh, damn.
Yeah, the isekai version.
Well, yeah, I know that, but like, it's not technically their kid.
Oh no, well, yeah, no, yeah, but that's why Natsu asked if she could breathe fire because he was like so interested in and like invested in his kid already. He's like, oh, she could be friendly like me, right?
Oh yeah, no, he's totally interested in learning about that stuff.
You best believe. I hope to God. Natsu's like, go on. I'll say this. I'll say this in my little thing.
So carrying on, we have Kara and Happy having a little bit of a talk, and they mention about how the X-Seeds were hated, and are they still hated? And Edo Wendy, big boob Wendy, comes over and gives her a very big hug and says that's not true at all. So it seems that they've all come to terms that the X-Seeds aren't all bad. And we've got Wendy having a little reaction to not having the same size boobs. And I was still thinking about the Nightwalker comment from last chapter. Mira hasn't changed. But, well, there's no difference between our Mira and their Mira by the looks of it. They're exactly the same. And the group the two Lucys turn up. And when Lucy approaches Urza, she brings up the war that they had. Looking at you reminds me of our friends who were killed. She has quite a bit of a stern look, but then she kind of tones down and says, but I guess the feeling's mutual. We also killed a lot of royal soldiers in the old days. So, she's kind of reminiscing on a war that happened and realizing all the bad that happened. But it wasn't just, it was both sides that took part in it and did wrong. And she mentions the war is over, so she's kind of put it behind herself, which is good. I'm glad. And Urza then brings up Nightwalker again, as that way keeping her a secret. And Lucy has a bit of a grin and says, "Let me have at least a little revenge." So they arrive at the capital. It still looks actually really well. I'd have to say these panels were really detailed and really well drawn. And they have a walk around, exploring as per normal, and they get to I assume it's the palace, and they come across Ice Boy, what's his name? Sugar Boy, who fought Gray, and Hughes. I can't remember what he did, if I'm honest, but yeah. I think he
fought Lucy.
I think so, but I can't actually remember. He's so forgettable because he just looks fucking generic rogue too. And Natsu recognizes them. They call him obviously Fireboy, Kitty Boy. And out comes Princess Coco, calling her Milk Girl to Edo Lucy. Well, our Lucy. Coco is annoying as ever. She talks about how she's gotten so big. General chit chat. Obviously, Wendy's there again. Yet another case of chest getting bigger, while she's getting upset that her chest isn't getting bigger. It's okay, Wendy.
It's okay. Dad still loves you.
Indeed. You're adorable. So Urza then finally asks a question about where is Nightwalker, and Byro and all the others point her in the right direction, and they go through. Who do we see? But our boy, Mistigan. Right, everyone gets really excited, calls out Mistigan, and we get the entrance of Nightwalker, sending them all flying into the sky, calling them insolent dogs. And she gets extremely angry. You dare invoke His Majesty's name, damn insurgent. She tries to attack our Urza, who just catches her hand like it's nothing. Nightwalker is in a nice maid outfit. And Mistigan calls out her name. Well, just says Urza, and they both actually turn their attention to him. However, Nightwalker goes to submissive mode and hits to her knees instantly. Oi, oi.
The Dojins write themselves. What can I say?
Yep. It writes themselves. So Mistigan kind of says to her, like, these are our guests, don't be so violent. And she goes full Juvia mode here. All right.
No. She goes Virgo mode.
Actually, yeah, full Virgo mode. Cruise up to Mistigan. All right. And says, I am humbly ask for forgiveness. This cannot be excused. What must I do to earn your forgiveness? She turns around and says, please give me a punishment by lashing. Good old Virgo. I mean Urza. I mean Nightwalker.
Yeah.
And
this show's wild.
Mistigan actually pulls a grey and is like, it's fine, just stand up. And she said, no, I'm prepared. Now hurry, I present my rear to you. So
like I said, the Dojins write themselves.
Nightwalker's just done a complete 180 and she just flipped over. And Natsu makes the obvious comment that has she becoming a maid? And Mistigan says, no, she's actually still the full-fledged knight captain. And they then, as looks at our Lucy, says that damn Edo Lucy, and our Lucy saying, hey, don't blare me. That's not me. That's their Lucy.
That's her. That's we're not the same.
We get a nice little panel of Edo Lucy, even though she's not there. She knows what's happening. She's chuckling. Still, and then the rest of them kind of exchange greetings between Mystic and Happy and so on. And they bring up the comment to Nightwalker, are you fallen for Majesty, for Mystic? And she's fallen for him. No, you're wrong. His Majesty is simply the light of my life. And our asks what's happened over the last 9 years, and he says, well, it's been eventful. There's a nice Mistigan thinking motive, if only it was a bit bigger. And they look like they're about to start a banquet. Mistigan brings up the idea, the notion that the whole anima situation, even the word hasn't been heard in Edalus over the past 9 years. It's kind of just vanished from, just no one talks about it. And he mentioned how we can't even do anything about it with it because there's no magical abilities. And Natsu actually makes a smart observation. Says, so that means it wasn't somebody from Edalus who brought us here. I'm surprised he's the one that came up with that.
He's a smart guy. They just
when he wants to be.
They just stupefy him.
And obviously, the age-old question is, can anyone from Earthland open anima? The comment comes up that from Carla that maybe it's an exceed. It's a possibility, but she doubts it. And Mistigan then reveals information that there are apparently others who possess the same sort of power. It's said that there was another target in addition to Earthman for the Anima project. So the place that was the target was the title of 2 chapters ago. I think it was Elentir, the Transcendental Magic World.
Yeah. So now we get into that interdimensional shit.
Yep. Wendy brings up that there's another world other than Earthland and Edelus, which, to be honest, I've thought about before. I was like, there can't just be those two. There's got to be others. And he brings up that there is somebody in that world with world-traveling abilities that are greater than the anima. That is why it didn't become a target for the anima project. The moon dragon god Selene, the dragon who crosses dimensions. So, Spidey, you seemed quite hyped for this chapter.
Yes.
Let's hear it.
So, like I said, it feels like I'm a fucking shipper. I'm kind of insulted. I loved how overprotective Natsu was of this daughter that is his, but not really his. I don't know. I was like, that's fucking adorable. Like, can you imagine? Can you fucking imagine what he would do if it was really his daughter and somebody like went at him? I like went and tried to be like nice with her and shit. Oh my god, I feel sorry for that kid. Oh, I feel sorry for that kid. I just love that. He was very proud to be a dad, even though he wasn't a dad. I do think that this is kind of further pushing along, at least instead of 1 step, like 10, 12 steps to having Natsu and Lucy have that interaction regarding if they want to be something, because you saw how she acted when Edelas Lucy asked about it, and we know that she does feel that Natsu's like too naive to do anything, because she did mention it a while back. So I'm just intrigued by that aspect. And then Elentir, bro. We get Elentir, so we know we have now official confirmation that it is another dimension, which means Majima could play this really smart. He could have infinite crossovers with his series, because he could just be like, yeah, there's hundreds of dimensions, and a fairy tale's this dimension, Elentir's this dimension, Edelas is this dimension, Eden Zero's this
Eden
dimension.
Zero.
Yeah, you could literally do something like that, which fascinates me. I want to see how this plays out.
Elentir's Rave Master.
Dude, don't even joke like that. Because what?
I
Imagine
wish it into existence.
imagine it actually is that, and it's like, yeah, you guys thought it was Edelas, but nope, motherfuckers.
Well, considering that a few chapters ago he was talking about the nostalgic characters, assuming that he wasn't referring to Mystigan. Who knows?
Can you imagine if it's?
I know,
Can
right?
you imagine? Holy dude, that would actually get people to read Rave Master.
Which would be a good thing, because more people need to read that.
Yeah, we'll agree to disagree. No, I'm kidding. It's actually pretty good.
What?
I said it's pretty good. Relax. I don't know. I loved everything about this chapter. Sure, it could have been more like actual exposition and story progression, but I love these little, like, not necessarily slice of life, but it was kind of like a slice of life type chapter where they're doing their own thing, and you have Natsu being protective. You have Gray being protective of his son, even though he was like, me and Juvia, nah. So it was all. I just love that shit. It's just fucking 10 out of 10 for me. Fuck it, I'm a shipper for today.
That's a 10 out of 10, bro. Raw. All right. Good to know you're excited about a ship content.
Which is weird, because if you remember the previous one of the previous ship chapters, I was like, and then I see Natsu holding his daughter, like being all proud of her and shit, and I'm like, 10 out of 10. Simple man.
That's fair. So you like it not necessarily because of the shipping side of it. You actually like it because of the way you see someone like Natsu actually act more fatherly and mature.
Yeah, I like.
Um,
Yeah. Basically, I like seeing this side of Natsu because we tend to see Natsu being a moron. Um,
Very true.
and I just wish there'd be more chapters where, yeah, he's still a clown, but he's serious when shit happens. So I really like seeing this side of him. Yeah, and he's obviously he sees this kid as his daughter, even though we all know that it's another dimension's his other dimensions version's daughter. So it's all fascinating. I really love it. Simple man, like I said, simple man.
Okay, okay. And King, what about you?
Yeah, I really like this chapter too. I mean, I'm not like a super shipper or whatever, but I was definitely much more entertained by this chapter than most others as of late. I just generally thought, well, I mean, I'd say I agree with Spider-Man. It was really nice to see that kind of, interaction between Natsu and Gray when it came to the Parallel Worlds kid. It was nice to see Mystigan again. I've liked him since pretty much his first appearance way back when he took the job and made everyone go to sleep. And just generally, he's been an interesting character to me. And as I've said before, I was very disappointed by the end of Edalus, where we lost him and got Lysana back, and it's like, that's just a bad trade. Can we, trade back right there? But in general, like, I'm interested in this chapter. I really like the idea of Elantir. Maybe one of you can remind me, because we did look up what Elantir was several weeks ago before we knew, and it had some relation to Tolkien. So maybe if someone can get that up, we can get a little more
Yeah,
info. But broadly
give
speaking, the Earth of Nightwalker part, well, I guess all of our predictions were wrong there, but that's okay. I'm fine with this. This was just a little bit comedic. I do think it would have been much more entertaining if they had a kid or something like that, but whatever. But yeah, no, I guess I'm just curious to see what happens next, and I think this was an all-around solid chapter.
The Tolkien thing was that Elantir was a character created by Tolkien, but then he abandoned him during the writing of Akhlabeth.
Okay,
Apparently,
well, I guess it has
apparently
no relation in
Muriel,
that case.
apparently
what?
Muriel was meant to be Elantir.
Oh, I mean, we could just say that this version's Elantir was also abandoned because they decided to go to Earthland instead.
There's the connection.
There's your connection, King. You're welcome.
Very tenuous, but yeah, sure, let's go with that.
Um, oh yeah. What did you think of Celine being able to travel through dimensions?
Shit's whack,
I
bro.
don't really have an opinion on it, to be honest. Like, I don't mind it, but it just makes me wonder what exactly her combat power is, if she's actually that powerful. Like, yeah, I don't know what to think, really. It's okay. I mean, I am curious, though. Like, I remember in the beginning of the Grand Magic Games arc, just when they were doing their training stuff, and we found out that Fairy Tail's medical advisor, whatever her name is, basically
Portliesca?
said, yeah, I can't pronounce it for shit, but basically, she's from Edalus, and she said that if she had really wanted to get back, she could have had Makarov help her. So I would figure there has to be some kind of Earthland-based way to return to Edalus, or well, to dimension travel, basically. But evidently, Celine alone is more powerful than all the anima technology, which is an interesting concept to be sure. But I want to see more of her. But as a dimension jumping villainess, I guess it's okay.
Man, she's so hot.
Yeah, that too.
This chapter.
I'm just pointing out facts, bro.
What did you think of the chapter, Dad?
I liked it for what it was. The whole cute fatherly situation with Gray and Natsu, like you did. Didn't really care for the chapter too much. I did like seeing Lucy and Edo Lucy's outfit. That was good to see again. What I did like, though, is the information that we got. I liked that it was brought up that in 9 years, anime and anima hasn't been talked about, or it's nice to see that the Edalus people actually have just gotten on with life and moved on. That is something that I remember when I watched the show. After that was all over, I was like, well, how are they going to live? Because, it's such a drastic change. But it's good. It's nice to see that they have. It's also nice to see Mystigan where he is in the power. And it's good to
Bit
see.
of a tangent, but I do want to add that I really liked how they, in the previous chapter, I believe it was mentioned that the Fairy Tale Edalus Guild has moved on to becoming a courier guild. So they've found a way to adapt to life without magic. But then that was kind of funny. Has anyone ever seen Letter B? Because I don't know if you've heard of it, but it's basically an anime about people who deliver letters for a living across dangerous places and whatever. And that anime came out right around the time Fairy Tales anime started, so I thought that was kind of a funny little unintentional connection. But
Okay.
I might have to check that out.
That sounds actually quite cool. I'm add that to my list. But yeah, so I like the fact that everyone's moved on and moved forward. Shall I say? I'm not gonna say moved on, but moved forward. I don't know how I feel about Nightwalker's change. I mean, I don't mind it, but at the same time, I liked Nightwalker quite a bit and how she was. But I liked that the whole anima thing hadn't been talked about, but it hadn't been forgotten. And now we got more information about Celine, the fact that she can jump worlds, the fact that she, like you said, she's powerful enough to do that. What does that say about her actual power level? How strong actually is she? Or is she one of those situations where, I don't think it will be, but with what's his name? Is it Word? Nature Dude, Tree Man?
Mm-hmm.
His utility and support aspect is incredibly strong. That's why he is how he is. But his actual combat strength isn't the highest out of the Saints. But I mean, we already know that the Saints don't have to be the strongest in combat because there's many other ways to be useful. So I'm wondering if she's going to be kind of like a powerhouse, or is she going to be a utility situation, or what? Because I mean, we already know Ignir is the big boy when it comes to power. Well, we can assume so.
I mean, I feel like all of the ones we've seen so far have been very, clear powerhouses to some extent.
Yeah, but now
like Rukphobia, clearly even Outeron for sure.
Yeah, but
they
now
just have a different trait that makes them notable.
Thing is, they didn't have this super fucking out of this world, literally power. Alderon was just a big boy who created a people out of his seeds and then ate them.
Well, are you suggesting that Celine created the world of Elantir?
That's kind of where I'm going with it.
Okay.
I'm wondering if just how powerful this world jumping ability can be. I mean, if we think about the idea that she can go from world to world by what seems like freedom, just how limitless is her power. And if she's meant to be a quote-unquote dragon god, and as we've seen, like you just mentioned, the previous two are incredibly strong, just what is the limit to her power? I have a feeling that she might have had some say or some responsibility in the creation of Elantir.
It's possible.
It would be really cool if she did. It would make her even more hot, in my opinion. But the character herself, I'm just getting more and more intrigued by this whole idea of, well, isekai is what I'm just going to call it, with our guild being isekai left and right.
Not bad.
So the chapter overall, didn't care too much for it. The first half of it, The second half of it is what I liked. I like this new. I like it when we get a new revelation of information, and it allows us to actually start thinking and making up our own stuff, just to be told that we're wrong.
So you like the actual story progression aspect,
yeah.
Whereas me and King kind of found entertainment off of the non-story plot aspects.
Yeah,
of this chapter.
sounds
I
about
think
right.
Dab's theory crafting a bit, but I think that's okay too.
It's okay. He's got to do something.
I'm gonna do something in my life. All I'm doing right now is Genshin left and right, bruv. I eat shit and sleep Genshin. Oh boy.
But yeah, that was that chapter, guys. We really liked it. Some of us liked it for the story progression, Dav, and some of us liked it because of the cute, entertaining interactions between characters and their biological daughters. So yeah, that was it. We do next chapter drops when? When did I say it drops?
20th, I believe. Yeah,
Yeah,
20th.
20th. So yeah,
Dude, I love having the dates at the top of the server.
that's such a great idea. I wonder who did it.
I don't know, just someone thought
Uh,
of it, but it's great.